Hi, this is Dr. Benfinio, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to record a presentation in Camtasia. This video is aimed at people who just need to know the basics, for example, to record a lecture that you're going to post online, and not people who are looking to do more advanced video editing or get into the more detailed features available in Camtasia. I'm going to show you how to record your screen, for example, if you're giving a PowerPoint presentation, how to record video of your face and your voice, do some basic editing like cutting out mistakes that you make in the video and adding simple annotations or text, and then export the file so you can upload it somewhere where your students can watch it. When you open Camtasia, you'll see a window like this. Don't panic, there's a lot going on, but rather than explaining the entire interface, I'm just going to walk you through the steps you need to take to do a basic recording. Start by clicking the record button in the upper left. That's going to minimize your main Camtasia window and bring up this little toolbar. The toolbar allows you to select the area of your screen you'd like to record, whether you want to record from your webcam, and your audio source. For example, here I have multiple microphones, so I can select which one I want to use. Once you're ready, click the record button. Camtasia will give you a 3-second countdown and then start recording whatever's on your screen. For example, here I've pressed the record button and I had a PowerPoint presentation ready. You'll see that the little toolbar for the Camtasia controls automatically collapse, so it isn't included in the recording. I'm going to maximize my PowerPoint presentation. In my case, I have 2 monitors, so I have to be careful as to whether I am recording presenter view or the actual slides. If I want to swap those, I can go up to Display Settings, swap presenter view and slideshow. Now I am recording my slides. I would click through these and give my lecture. When I am done, hit Escape to exit out of the PowerPoint. Now I need to find that little Camtasia toolbar again. It minimized automatically because it didn't want it to be included in the recording. So that is down here on my Windows taskbar. I can open this up again and click Stop to stop the recording and then go back into Camtasia to do some more editing. Okay, now let's look at what's going on in the Camtasia window, since before we just hit this record button and ignored everything else. The next important thing you're going to need to learn is the timeline. So this is the series of tracks across the bottom that represent every frame in your video. So the axis across here you'll see is minutes and seconds, representing the time at that point in your video, and the tracks are multiple layers of your video, so you can add multiple things on top of each other, for example, the recording of your face and your slides. So I already have a bunch of things here since I have already done some editing to make this tutorial, but if you had just clicked that record button one time and made one video clip recording, you would have one thing in your media bin here and it would show up automatically down here on your timeline. I'm going to demonstrate adding something new to the timeline, so I'm going to click and drag a video I just recorded down here, and you see that gives me 2 video tracks, and I can click to go anywhere on the timeline by dragging this slider or just clicking on the timeline. So I have 2 video tracks that I recorded here. I recorded my PowerPoint, and I also recorded the view from my webcam. If I want to resize or move one of those, I can select it. For example, if I want my face to be bigger than that, I can click on the box to drag it. I can move it to a different corner if I'm worried about it covering up something in my PowerPoint slides. So that's the basics of the different layers. Again, you could add more of these, like importing other images. We'll get to that later. The next major thing you'll probably want to do if you're recording is trimming out mistakes or setup at the beginning. For example, say I wanted to get rid of this part at the beginning where I'm not in presentation mode yet, and then I am in presenter view instead of the actual slides. There's 2 different ways you can do that. One is by setting where you want to go on the timeline and clicking the split button over here on the left. So that is going to split whichever video clip you have selected, or video clips. If you have multiple clips selected, click the split button. Now I can click and hit my delete key to delete those. So now I have gotten rid of those parts at the beginning. Or I'm going to hit Control-Z to undo that split. You can click these little red and green tabs next to this slider, drag that out to highlight an area of the video, and then click the scissor icon or the cut icon on the left over here. That will also cut out that part of the video. And again, you can see there I've trimmed out the part at the beginning where I was in presentation mode. So that is an easy way if you mess up your presentation rather than having to do it all in one take. You can just go in and splice out, say, a mistake in the middle. If I had messed up something in the middle there, I can just drag like that, hit cut, and cut it out. That makes life a lot easier because you don't have to go back and start over at the beginning of the lecture. Now, you do not have to do all of your recording from within Camtasia. If you have an existing external video clip that you recorded with other software, or if you have some static images that you want to import, you can do that by dragging them to your media bin. So for example, I'm just going to drag a random image of something from when I was in grad school here. That will show up in my media bin, and now I can drag that to the timeline and treat it just like a video clip. Something important I forgot to mention earlier, you can zoom in and out on the timeline with these plus and minus buttons. So say I'm going to zoom way out, and if I wanted this to show up sequentially as the next thing in the video, I can drag it over here on the right. Or if I wanted it to show up as a new layer at a certain point in the video, I can put it in a new track here, and then again I can resize and move that around just like I could with the video of my face. So you'll see there are a lot of other options here in the menu over on the left, and again, we're not going to go through all of these. I just want to quickly highlight two of the more basic ones that I think are useful. One is Annotations, so this lets you add a text box just like you could in PowerPoint. So click on Annotations, and then you can click and drag a text box, and there are different shapes and colors and things you can adjust here. This is useful if you make a mistake that you can't just cut out. So if you said something wrong that you need to correct, then you can put the correction here, and then that'll show up to the people who are watching the video. And again, just like adding video clips or images, this will show up as an object on your timeline that you can move around, move to different layers. You can copy it and paste it if you need multiple warnings, that sort of thing. So again, useful if you make a mistake that you need to correct in written text because you can't just cut out that part of the video. The last feature I'll mention here that you probably don't need to worry about if the audio for your video is good enough that people can understand you. There are some audio effects with some built-in filters that work pretty well. So the first one here, noise removal. If you have some background hum or hiss from something like a fan or an air conditioner, or your windows are open and the wind is blowing or that sort of thing, you can click on audio effects and then click and drag this noise removal filter down to a clip that has audio in it, and it will automatically apply the filter to that clip. You get this little noise removal menu on the right here with sensitivity and amount sliders that you can play with. So you can try listening to the audio on your computer and seeing if that gives you an improvement. If not, then you can just hit X to delete this and not bother with it. And then there is also this audio compression filter that is going to help smooth out the volume of your video. So if maybe you were moving around and moving your head closer and farther away from the microphone and the volume of your voice is varying a lot, or you accidentally whispered at one part and were yelling in another part, you can click and drag that, and look what it's going to do to the audio waveform on this part of the clip. It kind of flattened out the highs and lows there to make everything a more consistent volume. And then again, you get some different settings that you can play with over on the right here to adjust the amount. So again, if your audio is good enough and everybody can understand you, you might not need to bother with that, but sometimes you listen to a recording of your own voice and kind of shudder at how bad it sounds or how bad the background noise is or something like that, then these can help you clean that up a little bit. So let's do a quick recap of all the recording and editing before we talk about how you export or save your completed video. So if you want to record something on your computer, you click the record button up here and then select what you want to record between your voice, your screen, and your webcam. You can also drag external video clips and images into your media bin here. You can then drag things from the media bin to the timeline of your video, where you can add multiple tracks, layer things on top of each other, and snip, crop, drag these things around to rearrange them as needed to arrange your video as you want it to appear. You can drag around on the timeline to view different parts of your video, and then you can also use the play button to watch the whole thing once you've compiled it. So once you have all of that done, and maybe you've added some other bells and whistles like annotations or audio filters, you are ready to export your video. You do that by going to the share button over here in the upper right. And then this is going to give you different options where you can upload directly to certain websites, or if you want to save the file locally, you click on local file. And again, this will give you a bunch of options. I usually go with a 1080p MP4, so that's high definition. Or you can go through custom production settings. You're probably not going to have to worry with those. You should be okay to just go with the defaults, but if you want to, select custom settings, then you can select a file type and then go into things like setting the resolution of the video and the frame rate and the quality, same for the audio settings. Get through all of that, and eventually you'll get to a place where it just asks you to pick a file name and a folder, hit finish, and it will save the file, which you can then watch locally or upload to a learning management system like Canvas or wherever your students will be viewing the lecture. So I hope you found this video useful. This is my first software tutorial for something other than Zoom, so I hope it went well. As always, if you have a question or a suggestion for another tutorial, please leave a comment below the video. Thank you.